Hi, and welcome to another lesson on ProPresenter 4 brought to you by worshipmediapro.com. In this very quick lesson, I'm going to talk about the powerful tool of the background editor inside of ProPresenter. And I get these questions asked quite a bit, so I figured it's a good time to bring up this tutorial and discuss this very powerful feature that is really not highlighted a lot by Renewed Vision, which is to my surprise because I think this is extremely powerful and helpful when dealing with motion video. Alright, so let's get started. The first thing I'm going to do here is I'm just going to right click on a video background and I'm going to go to Properties. And inside Properties, as you can see here, there are some functionality, some things that I can do to edit my background. And as you can see, I can take a look at the background format. I can look at the size, the resolution of this particular background, the duration of this background. Of course, the behavior is looping. It's automatically looping for a background in the backgrounds video bin. I talk about this more in the lesson number 1 under ProPresenter 4 tutorials. Okay, so what we can take a look at here is the rate in which this loop is running. And this might be too fast for some songs, it might be too slow for others, it might be just right for most. So let's talk about editing this and modifying the rate. So what I can do is I can bump down the rate, and now I can make it a lot more slower, so this might fit a song a little bit better. And I can bump it up too. So I can bump up this rate, make it really fast. Maybe for a more faster paced song, this would be a good rate. So the good news is you can change the rate. You can slow it down, you can speed it up. All right, that is a very powerful tool there, because as we know, some backgrounds are a little bit faster than others, and we can go and edit those backgrounds to change the rate. Okay, so let's leave it how it is there, and next thing we're going to do, let me just reset this so that we make sure we have all this sitting the same or sitting as the default. And I'm going to first change the hue. Now the hue is nice because the hue is the coloring. So I can change this to more of a blue-green color. I can change this to a purple color. I can bump up the saturation a little bit. I can even change the contrast. I can make it a deeper contrast. I can modify this a little bit so I can drop out the a little bit more of the noise, the lines there. I can change the brightness. I can bump up the brightness, or I could drop it down. So maybe, that would be a good setting. That would be a nice background. All right. And then when I close this, okay, and I go back to this background will now have the new modified settings. As you can see here, playing in the top left in the preview pane. Now I have, let me go ahead and close out that so you can just see the background. Now I have this modified background. So let's grab another one and take a look at what we can do with, let's say, this background here. All right, so here's the rate of that background, and I'm going to go into Properties, and I'm going to change the rate, maybe make it a little bit faster. All right, and I'm going to change the hue a little bit, so I'm going to make it more of a kind of a brown tan look there, and maybe I'll leave the saturation almost the same. But look at that, just changing the contrast. Look at how beautiful that is, and that's just some very quick editing inside of ProPresenter. So hopefully that was very helpful, and you can mess around with it. Now remember, you can just go back and easily put this thing back to standard defaults. Oops, let me go back to Properties again. I can just hit reset, and then reset all. All right, and I've reset it back to, once it refreshes here, I'll show you how. There you go. Goes right back to the default. So there you have it. You can actually create copies of the same background and then just edit those copies to have it a different look, a different rate. All right, so hopefully that was very informative, and thank you so much for stopping by worshipmediapro.com.